Welcome back, everyone, after another fantastic round here in Turin. Myself and Shay are still joined by the lovely Alberto Conti, and it's fantastic, of course, to continue hearing all more about your approach to the game. We've had a chance to see a bit of your player spotlight already. You talk about the mental, you've already highlighted it from the first section. But we want to talk about your approach to the game from a technical aspect as well. How do you approach the meta game? How do you approach a tournament? Just give us a little bit of insight into the world of Alberto Conti.
Okay, so every time a new set drops, I start looking at every card of the set, and I try to spot which is the best card and some valuable strategy. But what I do actually is I keep playing my current deck. For example, I will still play Last Box when the Paldeval will be dropping, and I try to play that deck against newcomers, I don't know, Chimpao EX and all other new strategies. And if I just and then I see if my strategy keeps beating that, then I can still play that, and then if not, the opposite. But what I do actually is always try to find a friend who is playing the same deck as me, and I start texting with them a lot, have you tried this matchup? Have you tried to change maybe some energy count or maybe something else? And we get this back and forth discussion, and I think that's really important, because you can see what your partner is doing, but also you can see if you're going on the wrong way. Sometimes I just overthink something, and then they saying to me, hey, you're going on the wrong way. So that's a thing to consider.
Yeah, it's great to have that level of discussion with your friends, your sort of testing partners. Like you said, different ideas gives you just different opportunities to try new things, particularly when moving into a new format as well. But yeah, really great insight there. Is there a contingent of just Italian players that you've also been able to test with, or is it you get to experience, because now with Pokemon being so big, we get a chance to have conversations with yourself, other UK players or other European players as well?
Thankfully, we have great technology in 2023, so I'm able to talk about the strategy with friends all over the world. Most of the time it's with some Italian friends. What I do is meeting people for testing, which is really important. I know many players test online using Pokemon TCG Live, or maybe using their webcams to test. That's really helpful, but the juice you get from staying there at the table with your friend, spending a lot of time focusing on that, maybe have a dinner together, so you have also some sort of break, and I think that's really important. So I would always suggest that.
Yeah, definitely some good tips there. Always helps you can have a little break from your testing. I have a question for you though. So you mentioned that, going into a new set, you want to try and continue playing the deck, and if the deck you do want to play is still good, you will continue to play it. But what happens in those scenarios where the current deck you're playing can't match up? Because I know you are an innovator, Alberto. You said you brought Turbo Lost Box to the map, and then Turbo Hybrid Kyogre. So what happens in that scenario where the deck you want to play isn't quite up to scratch? And talk to us about how you then adapt or maybe even change it.
Okay, so first of all, when I see my deck is not beating new decks, I try to change cards from my deck to adapt to the new format. But sometimes that's not the best thing to do, because you're losing consistency, or maybe you're messing up other matchups. So I tried a bit, not too much, maybe I don't know, maximum of 5 or 6 cards, and then if my deck is going on completely different direction, then I just stop playing that, focusing on something else, and going from there. So
No, that's fantastic, and it's great to hear this kind of level of insight, particularly from all these little transferable skills that you've been able to bring over from your previous history of other card games. But I think that is also enough time with yourself for this moment, as we go to another round, I believe. So we'll go straight back over to the casters and hopefully see you shortly.